Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm Gary.
And I'm rooting for the guillotine.
Yes, and today Dave and I were just chatting with about the Howard Lutnick testimony in front of the House Oversight Committee on the Epstein files. And I really wish I would have hit record about 15 seconds earlier.
Well, we'd be flagged for swearing, probably.
Dave was being spicy.
I'll repeat it. Vote as progressive as you can, because they'll hold these guys accountable. The corporate Democrats, we have to work with these guys and compromise and come to agree. No, the progressives like, the hell we do. We're gonna hold these guys' feet to the fire, hold them accountable, and throw them in prison. Throw them all in prison, send a message to the next of them. And then I mentioned something about the guillotine. I imagine the French revolutionaries were the progressives of their time.
Indeed.
Yes, lopping off a few heads never hurt anybody.
But it's just, I was voicing my frustration with the whole situation because Lutnick is dirty.
Oh, God.
Full stop. The guy's dirty, right?
He's a liar. He's a shameless liar.
Yes.
Yes, and that's the part that bothers you the most. It's not that he lies, he's lying, but he's shameless about it. He's arrogant about it. There's nothing a reverse atomic drop couldn't fix with that guy, or a pile driver, right?
Exactly. He testified in front of the House Oversight Committee, but he wouldn't do it under oath. He wouldn't do it with cameras rolling. It can only be a transcript. Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't want to fall under the perjury trap. And the Democrats that were on the Oversight Committee watching this were basically saying that he was sweaty, he was stammering, you could tell when he was lying. He changed his story to fit, at first he'd never been to Epstein's Island until they produced a photo of him and his family on Epstein's Island, and then he changed his story.
Yep.
And I think the part that bothers me the most, and Dave kind of touched on it, is it's just so flagrant. I mean, what he did is worse than pleading the fifth. He's basically lying.
Sure.
And he doesn't want anything, quote unquote, on the record, if you will, for a perjury trap. And the Republicans just let him get away with it. And that's the part that bothers me the most, is this guy is dirty. He's somehow involved with molesting, raping, and having sex with underage children. And the Republicans in Congress on this committee are giving him a pass.
Yep. Protecting the rapists.
And it's just, it just makes me want to slam my head against a wall repeatedly, because it's just like, they don't even try and hide the corruption anymore.
Might be good for ratings.
Good Lord Almighty. And here's another good one. I know this will be shocking to you, David. So get ready to clutch your pearls.
Where's my pearls? My clutching pearls.
Right before they made the announcement that the U.S. and Iran were coming close to an agreement to ending the war, someone put a whole bunch, like almost $1 billion of oil shorts out there.
That doesn't really work with this dark shirt and this.
No, you need a tongue or something.
Yeah.
So they were selling oil futures short, and it was like within, I don't know if it was an hour before the announcement, all of a sudden, of course, oil prices dropped because oil traders are thinking that we're near the end of the war. And someone made almost like $1 billion short selling oil.
Yep.
And it's just,
and people, and that it's not like this comes in a vacuum. If this person made $1 billion, it means somebody else lost $1 billion, or a collective group of people lost $1 billion.
Yeah.
Or they lost more money than they would have otherwise, because there's this, by putting a big bet on that, you change valuations of things.
It's just the corruption and the double dealing and the self-dealing and the turning a blind eye with a wink and a nudge. It's just the corruption is so deep, and as Dave said, we are finally seeing it.
They don't bother hiding it.
Yeah, it's.
You could predict on a Friday they're going to say everything's going great, peace talks are imminent. They're going to sign over the weekend, and then by Sunday they've nuked, they bombed Iran, and oil futures are going to skyrocket, and the market's going to tank on Monday.
It's just, oh my God, it's so frustrating. And when I saw Lutnick and his security detail keeping the reporters away as they escorted him, you start understanding why some of these people arm themselves. It's like no one's holding them accountable. No one seems to want to do anything about it. And someone who has given up hope or has just finally been pushed over the edge has decided, you know what? Maybe I need to do something.
People without hope do extreme things. They're primed for extremists.
And it's I think we're going to see more of it as we see more and more of this self-dealing and these flagrant ethic violations. And
here, look at you with expectations of truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah, I know. What the hell's the matter with me? What was I?
Haven't you been doing this for 2 years now? You haven't figured this one out yet?
They haven't killed my optimism yet.
Yeah, we like our liars to at least pretend like there's a small amount of shame or remorse in it. We don't like it when they just rub our face in it.
So, and Dave, you did a Lutnick reading for Tarot by the Bay, right?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So maybe after we do the cards here, we could kind of compare notes.
Oh, they'll put them feet first into the chipper shredder.
Okay, good. That was your outcome.
Thank you for watching this video. Yeah, you wouldn't believe that my own new tarot deck that I've designed, a little bit darker than other tarot decks, but for corrupt government officials in the United States, I should probably go in medieval.
That is so funny. I was going to ask you which tarot card was the first through the chipper.
Exactly.
I suspect Pick and Duck probably has a tarot deck that has a chip shredder card in it somewhere.
The Dark and Torturous deck, the anti-enlightened deck.
Oh my gosh! So why don't we launch this thing since we're 8 minutes in? Dave and I might start doing a slightly different format for the Twin Channel, which involves a lot more of this kind of chit chat and maybe a little bit less of the tarot cards themselves.
Yeah, it would be kind of basically a podcast. iHip does it. There's lots of different things like that. But as I mentioned to Gary, it's like, just talking about the news sometimes helps the folks watching this. And when we throw cards, it usually just reinforces the stuff that we've already talked about. So
our own internal biases are just read into the cards.
Possibly, but you don't doubt your intuition for a second. It helps formulate some of your opinion. Well, if anything, it's more interesting when the cards show you something you're not expecting.
That happened yesterday when we did the reading on J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. I just figured Marco Rubio was in the driver's seat, and the cards indicate that no, Marco, he might be riding a wave right now, but at the end of the day, it looks more like JD's kind of in charge there, and that surprised me. Actually,
he's your boy.
So let's go down here and take a look at good old Howard Lutnick for entertainment purposes only, because we're also entertained when pedophiles are treated with the kids' gloves, right? Thank you. All right, so the energy around Howard Lutnick and his Epstein ties. What do we need to know?
Did you guys see that card on the bottom of the deck? It's amazing.
I'll let you look. I'm not looking.
Exactly. No.
Okay. All right. Foundation of the reading is the Hierophant. What do we need to know? Hey, he's got friends in power in the government. bottom line, I love it one card. He gets away with it because of how he's positioned as a commerce secretary. The challenge. Here's a great 2-card reading. The challenge is it's hard to hold them accountable and bring them to justice when they've got political cover
and wealth.
Energy underneath. God.
Exactly.
3 major arcana. Energy underneath is the devil. He and his friends have all chained themselves to this. It's kind of they're all going to survive it or they're all going down with it.
Yeah, it's also just the underlying corruption in the government that's just being put out there for everybody to see. Two sets of rules, 2 sets of laws.
Yep.
Those for poor people and those for extremely wealthy people, and that's what they want. They want lords and peasants.
Yeah,
and no Magna Carta this time.
In the past, you got the 9 of Pentacles, just enjoying the riches and the finer things of being wealthy and having political cover, being in the privileged class. Current situation is the 7 of Cups. I'm going to be optimistic here. People are starting to look at this and, the testimonies are not making sense. Even, the one common denominator between MAGA, America First, and the more progressive parts of those in the political spectrum is that you shouldn't let pedophiles have a free ride. And Lutnick's changing story, the Department of Justice and Trump seem to be providing cover for Lutnick and people like him is confusing people. Because this is supposed to be a bunch of Democrats, this cobble of satanic Democrats in government, and yet it seems to be all Republicans. Some of which who used to be Democrats, so maybe there's a partial truth there. So what do we need to know about Lutnick? He's getting his stories confused. Overarching energy is the Page of Wands, which is maybe it's time for new actions. Young people or more people who are looking out for the young people will begin to start taking actions. The lesson to be learned, the backroom deals that are happening in our government that are being shown, that we're absolutely seeing. And the outcome is we need to put an end to this. It's that these backroom deals, the inconsistent stories, we need to stick up for the young people, take the actions to put this to an end and make this so it never happens again. Either that or he gets away with it, and that's the end of the case.
I don't know. I think looking at that, he can say whatever he wants. He can make up any story he wants to, and for the short term, he will be.
Yeah.
But, the Republican Party will not be in charge forever. This administration, as much as they may try to stop the voting, change the votes, dissuade people from voting, they will not be in power forever. And Lutnick is a lot younger and healthier than Donald Trump. Which means there's plenty of time for angry young Democrats to get in power and take these guys and just put them through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
I want to read on the energy of progressive Democrats going forward as this corruption is laid out in front of them. What is the long-term consequence for this as a progressive wave will build in response to this issue? We've got the Moon card crossed with the Hermit, the 2 of Swords underneath. You got the King of Swords in the past, the 5 of Coins in the current situation, the Betrayal card of the 3 of Swords overarching, the Knight of Cups as the lesson to be learned, and the 4 of Wands in the future. What's going on? How will this impact the progressives? you've got the mysteries of the moon card that we don't know. We don't see what's happening behind the scenes, but it's also the energy of this insanity will build over time. And as people get angrier and angry and frustrated and just insane at all of this, there's going to be a path forward that people have with this energy. You've got a choice you can make. You're at a crossroads. Do you want to stay with the patriarchy, or do you want something different? In the past, we got the King of Swords. It is the patriarchy in the United States, but it's also that for people that naively, and I would put myself in that category, didn't think we had a patriarchy. But as you watch this corruption unfold, you start to understand what's been going on for all these decades. The power of progressivism, they're going to have, they know they have to come in and change it. The system has to come down. They have to be the new leaders. But the primary people that are going to power the progressives are the very people without hope. The people that society has kicked out, the ones that they've ignored, the poor people, the injured people, the sick people. This is the power base of the Progressive Party, because there are way more people in the impoverished peasant class than there are in the Howard Lutnick billionaire elite class. Overarching energy is the Three of Swords. How the United States was built on the promise that everybody has a fair shake. You work hard, you can get ahead. All lies, all tailored towards white men, white Christian men, if you will. And it's going to take that anger, that betrayal, that stab through the heart of democracy to build a new society. And it's going to be inclusive. It's going to gain momentum. There's going to be more people active, because as people get pulled out of poverty, poor people tend to pay it forward more than wealthy people. They don't hoard things. They don't have anything to hoard, so they tend to help out their friends if they've got a little extra. And it builds that community. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's opening day. It's like this progressive wave is going to build, and it's going to be kind of a quiet, silent wave that builds. But when it comes coming, it's going to come coming. And I also use that Four of Wands as my incarceration card. I really do think that while we may not get the guillotine, maybe progressives will want to be part of the world court. And maybe they will want these wealthy people who will never be tried by American courts. Maybe they'll want them to be tried in the world court, because the world court doesn't care if you're a U.S. billionaire with lots of political connections. I'd like to think.
So I wonder, will the Epstein survivors get justice for what they went through?
From Howard Lutnick, probably not.
What does justice look like for these survivors? Will they actually get justice?
210 pounds.
High Priestess, if the secrets get revealed.
Mm-hmm.
You've got agreements. At the Eight of Swords, there's no clear way out. They're stuck with this. Nine of Swords rushing to it. And then underneath it, you got the Ace of Cups. So are they going to get justice? If they can release the secrets that are being held, if they have some sort of agreements to release the secrets, those that were committing the atrocities have their hands tied. They can't. There's no easy way out of what they've done. And at that point, justice will be swift, and the emotions will run high. It's encouraging if if I'm interpreting it correctly. But my track record is definitely not something that I would put money on in Vegas.
I would say the survivors will get their justice. The Eight of Swords is like it's you could be a victim or you could be a survivor, and they have their crusade. They have their truth that they will carry forward. And remember, the High Priestess is about divine feminine wisdom. Ask the questions, get the answers. They're sitting on a lot of information that a lot of very wealthy, powerful men, politically connected, do not want out there.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Lutnick will get away with it for now. A lot of these guys are going to get away with it for now.
Yeah, we could start turning the tables in November.
Yep. That'll be a big way. That will be a big event. Assuming that
there's a lot to overcome. There's a lot of gerrymandering. There's a lot of redistricting that's been going on. But they can't. If you go out and vote, they can't redistrict your vote. If you get enough people voting, the redistricting is going to flip the results on the Republicans in a really, really bad way.
Yeah, gerrymandering only works. It only works assuming that a lot of people don't vote, which is why it has to be coordinated with voter suppression. Yeah. So, if you're going to, like one of the things that are suggested is that if you mail in ballots, the post office could try and more blue districts, not stamp those ballots. So they get stamped too late, like they've been turned in too late. So you got ballot boxes, you can drop stuff off. Use a ballot box if at all possible.
Unless someone comes and steals the ballot box or sets it on fire, which happened in Washington, right?
It happened in California too, I thought. But yeah, they'll do what they can do. But in the end of the day, if you just swamp them with a blue wave, there's only so much they can do. Look what happened in Hungary. That election had all sorts of fixes in place, and they still tossed Orban out.
Yeah, I think that candlelight vigil they had the night before the election, that was the most powerful statement you could make.
Absolutely, because it put election officials and everybody on notice that people came out and voted, and they know how the vote's supposed to turn out. Yep. This is a big, large, peaceful demonstration tonight. And if you steal this election, it will not be a big, large, peaceful demonstration the next night.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, David. I truly appreciate that. And we've also got some folks that made some kind contributions to the channel. The first, once again, do we have cats?
We do. She wants to be fed or pet or something like that. So she's lobbying me. I'm just putting this down because she will come up again. She puts her two little dainty paws up there.
Patricia King, also known as Ladyfish, made a kind contribution to the channel.
We've got the sun card for you.
Yay! Here comes the sun. And baby a cat. And then
up against my legs right now.
Becky, also known as Becky Too Many Cats, also made a very kind and generous contribution to the channel.
Is she really known as Becky Too Many Cats?
That's what her name is.
Okay.
I did ask her how many cats is too many, because I'm kind of curious if I'm Gary Too Many Cats.
How many? What's your max? What was your top number?
What's that?
What was your top number of cats at one point?
6.
Yeah.
6 at one point, but we're down in a Great Pyrenees that wish we would just show up with a dog once in a while. But yeah, now we're down to 3 cats. So a far more manageable number. My food bill is a lot less. And then a card for the rest of us. The 10 of Cups, the Happy Family card. Maybe we'll get a happy ending out of this. Who knows? Wouldn't that be nice for a change? Oh, I saw something moving in the background there.
Yes, you saw around my legs. Just noticing all the paper that's over here. My poor office has been turned into a cat playground.
Well, hopefully we'll get a reenactment of some World War II battle
I
on your
know.
channels too.
I've got some footage. I just haven't sat down to put anything together with it.
See what battle it correlates to. That's the thing, is the cats don't tell David which battle they're actually.
Yeah, I have to do my research to figure out which one it is.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you soon.
Take care.
Bye.